OSRC News at 7. L Press collaborates on the state government for effective response to public health threats. In Akoko community bemoans lingering power outage following severance from National Grid. Governor Yusuf resigns from NNPP as Kano political realignment deepens. And from the foreign scene, Pakistan mall fire death toll jumps to 67.
Thank you very much for joining us tonight on the news at 7 on Osrc television. My name is Oyewumi Ayinigbara. The Ondo State government has continued to record notable progress in the education sector with renewed investment in public school infrastructure and manpower development. From rehabilitation of schools to the employment and training of teachers, the initiatives are aimed at improving learning outcomes across the state. Despite ongoing reforms and visible improvement, school administrators across Ondo State are calling for more comprehensive rehabilitation of public schools as they continue to anticipate sustained government attention to education sector reforms. Joy Pius has details.
Across public primary and secondary schools in Ondo State, signs of renewed attention to education are evident. Dilapidated classrooms are giving way to rehabilitated learning spaces, while new teachers are being deployed to address manpower gaps in schools. A visit to some public schools revealed visible improvements, including renovated classroom blocks, provision of instructional materials, and enhanced security structures aimed at safeguarding pupils and students.
We thank God for what our dynamic and amiable government is doing across Ondo State. There are so many schools that are being renovated. We have buildings here and we have more textbooks and some chairs, some new chairs, and at the same time they even gave us new teachers, and we have a lot of things.
They were able to give us 6 classroom blocks. Very good. They did it. The job well done. This time we moved the students in. Last week I just moved some students into the place because the classrooms, all the classrooms were not okay. They were able to do it. They painted it. They renovated it. Even the windows and everything. The ceiling was gone. I really appreciate the government.
The environment has been generally conducive, peaceful, and since the inception of this administration, the salaries and emoluments of teachers and workers in the schools have been paid to time.
Other school administrators commended the employment of new teachers and regular training programs, describing them timely interventions.
We've been able to undergo training about leadership, and now to also have development plans for the school, for the teachers, the non-teaching, and also the students. So this training is so impactful.
The administrators also praised the contributions of old student associations whose interventions in classroom repairs, donation of furniture, and learning materials have complemented government efforts.
If you go about all around our school premises, you find out that the Osrc Association has done a lot of beautiful things for the school, complementing the effort of government and governor of Ondo State in the area of infrastructural development of the entire school system.
Despite the progress recorded, challenges remain. Some school heads raised concerns over dilapidated structures, leaking roofs, and weak buildings, which have forced the relocation of some students to alternative places of learning. There were also calls for the recruitment of more teachers to address shortages created by the disengagement of older teachers from service and for improved learning conditions across both primary and secondary schools.
Recently, we recruited new teachers, both secondary and primary. So, and that really helped a lot. It's really helped a lot. But a lot of people too are retiring daily, from the top down. So every day we have vacancies. So I know that by the special grace of God, sooner than we expected, our dear government will also do something about it. We just want them to help us with the security man, either night guard or day guard. We need them. We need them here.
Some of the ceiling in laboratories are caving in, so we need intervention of state government to come and help us. And in our library too, as I said, our advice that Mr. Government of Ondo State should make it a priority to supply books, most especially in English language and mathematics.
For night, we don't have a security guard in the night. So there was a time thieves came into the school. They made away with our fan because we have some fan, some of the staff room there. So they made away with the fan. If we have to write examination, we used to go and borrow from other schools and we buy little to do for the exam. So there's no functioning laboratory in the school.
Responding to these concerns, Ondo State Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Bekele Ajibefun, assured that the government is committed to sustained development in the sector, emphasizing government's resolve to create a safe and conducive learning environment for all learners in the state.
It is a continuous process. School renovation and stocking of schools with library materials, with digital equipment and so on and so forth. There is a continuous process. Some were done last year. A number of schools were renovated, and this year we have close to 100 schools that are in the budget that will be renovated. The challenges in these schools have been on for years without attention. We have a lot of dilapidated structures in this school, and many of these schools are very old schools. So gradual intervention in these schools will go a long way to address this problem, and it will go on. Yes, if close to 100 schools are taken every year, within few years, I think all the schools will be touched and they will experience this innovation that is going on.
Despite existing challenges, school administrators expressed optimism that ongoing interventions will further transform the education sector and improve overall learning experience of students. Joy Pius, Osrc News.
The Ondo State Government, in collaboration with the Livestock Production and Resilience Support Project (LPRES), has commenced implementation plans for the One Health approach for effective response to public health threats. Concerned ministries and key stakeholders converge on Akure, Ondo State capital, for a one-day workshop to domesticate the National Strategic Plan on the One Health approach in tackling health challenges. Omoniola Ungbiji reports.
The Ondo State Livestock Productivity and Resilience Support (LPRES) project has taken a significant step towards boosting the meat industry with a skills development workshop for butchers, meat sellers, and processors. This training focused on good hygiene practices, good manufacturing practices and hazard analysis and critical control points in all value chains, aiming to improve meat quality and safety. The workshop is part of the LPRESS project effort to transform the livestock sector in Ondo State, targeting over 34,000 beneficiaries including poultry, pig, sheep and goat farmers as well as processors and marketers. The state project coordinator Mr. Olufemi Adeogun emphasized that the training will enable participants to adopt modern practices, enhancing their productivity and resilience.
The teachers, they need this type of training we are doing for them now, because knowledge is key and health is wealth. And if something is going wrong with what we are eating, it will not be okay. If they go by what they have received in this training, things will be normal in the state.
State Commissioner for Agriculture and Forestry, Leye Akinola, said this will enable meat processors and sellers to produce and sell safe, healthy meat, cutting foodborne diseases risk. He added that the move will boost consumers' confidence, increase market demand, and ultimately benefit livestock industry as a whole.
This avenue is to train both those that are rearing the animals and those that are slaughtering it for human consumption. So we want to train them on how to practice safe hygiene, so that whatever we consume meat from this process is going to be hygienic. Customers will notice when they practice good hygiene and make sure that their environment is clean and safe, then they get more patronage.
Chairman of National Butcher Association Ondo State Chapter, Sikiru Ayinde, acknowledged the efforts of LPRESS project in educating and improving meat quality and safety.
Báwo tí wọ́n tún bá mi ṣe lónìí ni wọ́n tún dùn sí látàrí wípé wọ́n kọ́ wa bá sì máa pa ẹran, wọ́n kọ́ wa bá sì waste product yẹ yóò sì máa lọ bí kọ́ta wá sí gbọ́dọ̀ rí bàbá pẹ̀rẹ̀ àwọn jẹ̀jẹ̀rẹ̀ tí wọ́n kọ́ bọ́ ta ń bẹ̀ wọ́n kọ́ wa òkú ẹran wọ́n náà gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ àwọn náà sì tilẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ pé ẹran tó bá ti kú tí ọba ti bá ní tí ọba ti dú àgbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́.
The LPRESS project has also established demonstration farms and farmer field schools in various locations including Akure, Ikare and Okitipupa to promote modern livestock practices. The project's initiatives are expected to have a positive impact on the state economy, improving the livelihoods of farmers and other stakeholders in the livestock value chain. Sunday Adeoju, Osrc News.
Residents and business owners in Akoko Northwest local government area of Ondo State have lamented alleged insensitivity of Benin Electricity Distribution Company BEDC to the total darkness of the town due to its disconnection from the national grid. The people who spoke to Osrc News and Phone alleged that it has become the normal practice of the electricity company to disconnect power supply to the town from the neighboring town. According to them, officials of BEDC have for years been collecting monthly charges from residents without commensurate power usage. The people therefore appealed to the company to restore power in the interest of peace and at the same time probe the various or previous year's collections without remittance. The Oniru or Bayode Agbola, who confirmed that the town has been without power for weeks, while neighboring towns are enjoying uninterrupted supply, admonished the distribution company to look into the issue. He maintained that residents of a section of the town have always been responsible for repairs and maintenance of damaged poles, cable, and vandalized parts of transformers. A peaceful protest has broken out in Ijebu-Ode over alleged plans to impose the new Awujale of Ijebu land. The protesters marched through Awujale Palace Road on their way to Ijebu-Ode local government secretariat to register their displeasure over the development. Recall that the Ogun State government, through its Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Ganiyu Amzat, halted the Awujale selection process following a flood of petitions received from security agencies and other stakeholders. Members of the Distillers and Blenders Association of Nigeria have gathered at the Lagos State Office of National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control to protest the ban of the manufactured and sale of alcoholic beverages in sachets. The distillers, joined by members of the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress, carried placards and singing solidarity songs. The protest is believed to have stemmed from the ongoing disagreement surrounding the ban on the manufacture and sale of sachet alcoholic beverages. And you're still on to the news on Osrc TV. After the break, we'll bring you more stories. Please stay.
Ilẹ̀ ibi agbẹ́bíni tàbí tá a fi ṣe bí ìjòkó jẹ́bi tó yẹ ká máa gbé lárugẹ. Torí ẹ̀ láṣẹ wá ń pè yín. Kí ẹja jọ celebrate ká jubilate ká dẹ̀ congratulate ara wa. Ti ayẹyẹ àádọ́ta ọdún ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo lè tó fẹ́ wáyé yìí. Èyí iléeṣẹ́ ńláńlá àti iléeṣẹ́ kéréje. Oníṣòwò oníṣẹ́ ọwọ́ ilé ìwé ilé ìjọsìn. Union clubs associations ẹ̀yìn ọba ẹ̀yìn ìjòyè. Àti gbogbo ọmọ ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo àtẹ̀yìn tẹ́ fi bẹ̀ ṣe bí ìjòkó. Ó yá ẹja jọ kíra wa. Ká kí gómìnà ká kí igbákejì ká kí sínétọ̀ ká kí ẹ̀mẹ́sà rẹ̀ ẹ̀mẹ́sẹ̀. Àti gbogbo àwọn tó di ipò pàtàkì mú. Ká pè wọ́n ká kí wọn. Osrc television orange 94.5 FM àti 96.5 FM alálàyé. Owó díẹ̀ la ó gbà lọ́wọ́ yín o. Torí àjọ ń ṣe ayẹyẹ náà ni. Ìgbìmọ̀ iléeṣẹ́ Osrc Media Group ló ń pè wá. Àmàkù àṣeyẹ àádọ́ta ọdún tìpínlẹ̀ Ondo ti bẹ̀rẹ̀.
Síbi tí mo wà tí mo jẹ́ gbàgbé o. Ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo ti wá ní o.
Thank you very much for rejoining us. You can watch us live on our digital channel Moreplex 720 or on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook at OSRC TV, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel OSRC TV Ondo. The president of the Pediatricians Association of Nigeria, Dr. Ekanem Ekure, has faulted a 4.3% allocation to health in the 2026 national budget, saying it underscores a troubling lack of investment in the well-being and future of the Nigerian child. Ekure made the call in Abeokuta at the opening ceremony of the association's 57th annual general meeting and scientific conference. The child health specialist disclosed that Nigeria continues to bear a disproportionate burden of preventable childhood illnesses and mortality. She explained that children across the country continue to suffer abuse in various forms, including abductions from schools and markets, particularly in the northern part of the country, in violation of their fundamental human rights. Dr. Ekure advocated the use of technology to improve immunization tracking and coverage, strengthen disease surveillance and data utilization, and expand access through telemedicine and digital platforms. Governor Abba Yusuf of Kano State has resigned his membership of New Nigeria People's Party (NNPP), citing deepening internal crisis within the party and the need to protect the broader interests of the people of the state. The governor conveyed his decision in a letter addressed to the chairman of NNPP in Diso Chiranchi Ward, Gwale local government area, stating that his resignation takes effect from Sunday, January 25, 2026. Governor Yusuf attributed his decision to persistent internal disputes and legal challenges that have continued to unsettle the party at both state and national levels. He stressed that the decision followed careful reflection and guarded strictly by public interest considerations. Yusuf expressed gratitude to the party for the support and platform it's provided him to become Kano Elsman. And the United States has called on the federal government to intensify efforts to safeguard Christian communities following the abduction of 177 worshippers in Kaduna State on January 18. The call by the U.S. was made during a high-level United States-Nigeria working group meeting in Abuja, where the U.S. Undersecretary for Political Affairs, Alan Sehoka, said recent incidents showed that Nigeria must do more to guarantee the safety of Christians and their right to freely practice their faith. When acknowledging progress recorded in recent months, Hooker warned that persistent attacks on religious communities undermine security gains and public confidence. She added that strengthening religious freedom and security will further deepen bilateral relations between both countries, while also supporting the return of internally displaced persons to their communities. The National Security Advisor, Manam Noor Ribadu, acknowledged the scale of the security challenge and said the federal government is intensifying military and law enforcement operations in affected areas. He disclosed that President Bola Tinubu had authorized expanded security deployment, improved intelligence coordination, and more robust investigations into attacks on religious communities, assuring that those responsible will be brought to justice. In the meantime, the Defense Headquarters has urged Nigerians to remain vigilant in crowded areas, including markets, churches, and other public gatherings to enhance personnel and community safety. In a statement obtained from its verified X handle, it advised citizens to promptly report any unusual behavior of suspicious individuals to the nearest security agency. The statement stressed the importance of maintaining situational awareness at all times, noting that public vigilance is key to preventing crime and ensuring security in high traffic areas. The DHQ called on the public to cooperate with security personnel and take the advisory seriously to help reduce risk and protect communities across the country. The advisory is in response to rising concerns over security threats in crowded public places such as markets, churches, and other large gatherings across Nigeria, and also a broader effort by the Nigerian military and security agencies to enhance situational awareness among citizens, prevent criminal activities, and reduce incidents of violence or attacks in busy areas. The Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative (NETI) has intensified efforts to strengthen accountability in Nigeria's oil, gas, and mining sectors by deepening its strategic partnership with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission. The renewed commitment was disclosed by NETI's Executive Secretary Musa Adar following separate courtesy visit by the agency to the headquarters of the two anti-graft bodies. Adar underscored the urgency of closer inter-agency collaboration to ensure that transparency disclosures are translated into concrete enforcement actions, remediation of audit findings, and the purging of systemic revenue leakages in the extractive industries. Mr. Adar described EFCC and ICPC as indispensable partners in converting NETI's audit disclosures into measurable outcomes. He requested the continued cooperation of EFCC and ICPC under existing memoranda of understanding, calling for stronger joint action through intelligence sharing, technical collaboration, and coordinated follow-up on cases arising from NETI's audit reports. And Turkey has invited the federal government to establish ownership and claim 76 wooden and metal artifacts believed to be of Nigerian origin as part of ongoing efforts to repatriate cultural properties and strengthen bilateral ties between both countries. The development was disclosed by the Turkish ambassador to Nigeria, Mehmet Porer, during a visit to Minister of Art, Culture, Tourism and Creative Economy, Anatu Musawa, in Abuja. The artifacts were identified by Turkey's Ministry of Culture and Tourism in May 2025. Perez said discussions on their return will commence once the federal government officially establishes ownership and submits a formal claim. The ambassador also revealed plans to establish a Turkish cultural center in Nigeria to promote traditional arts and empower young Nigerian women through education and cultural exchange. In Pakistan, the death toll in a fire which engulfed a shopping center has claimed 67. Police say 77 people are currently reported as missing by their families following the fire at Gold Plaza in Pakistan's largest city, Karachi. But the scale of the damage following the blaze, which took more than 24 hours to put out, has slowed rescue efforts as authorities comb the remains of the expanse complex. While some of the bodies found are only partial remains, authorities have been able to count 67 skulls. Gold Plaza had housed some 1,200 shops spread across multiple floors. The family of detained Ugandan opposition politician Kizza Besigye says his health is deteriorating. He has been in jail since November on treason charge. His people say he is being denied proper medical care. Prison officials insist Besigye is not critically ill. The report is presented by Blessing Obi.
Prison where he is said to be in solitary confinement. His family says he's critically sick but is not receiving proper medical attention. They say he wants to be transferred to a private hospital where his personal doctor works. The prison service denies that Best's life is in danger but say he is under medical supervision.
He's in a cell that hardly has air coming in. It has a little ventilator that is very high up, and hardly any light comes into that room. Its time is so thin, when you get off the bed and there's only space to stand up between the bed and the two walls. That's how tiny it is. And he sleeps on a thin mattress that is full of bed bugs. He's always complaining of being bitten by bed bugs.
Besigye was arrested by Uganda authorities in the Kenyan capital and taken back to Uganda with the help of the Kenyan government next door. Prosecutors in Kampala have also charged him with illegally possessing a firearm and threatening national security. Besigye has been part of Uganda politics for decades. He was President Yoweri Museveni's personal doctor before the two fell out. He's run for the presidency 4 times. The country has just come out of an election that was marred by violence in opposition accusation of intimidation. President Museveni was declared the winner. His main rival, Robert Kyagulanyi, known as Bobby Wine, and another candidate have rejected the results. Blessing Obi, Osrc News.
The Rabat First Criminal Court has postponed to January 29 the trial of 18 Senegalese fans and 1 Nigerian citizens who are facing charges related to violent incidents during the African Cup of Nations 2025 final. The defendants appeared in court accompanied by Moroccan lawyer, while civil parties were also present. The session took place under tight security measures with reinforced police presence. At the hearing, the defense for the Senegalese fans requested provisional release, citing their fixed addresses, which would allow for summons through the Senegalese embassy in Morocco, as well as legal protections provided under Moroccan law for foreign nationals. The Senegalese defendants face multiple charges, including participating in violent act during a sporting event, forcibly entering the pitch, damaging sporting facilities, assaulting law enforcement officers, and throwing objects causing harm. And with that story, we conclude the news tonight. But before we go, a quick look at the top stories. We told you that the Lifestyle Production and Resilience Support Project LPRES has entered into collaboration with the Ondo State Government to domesticate the National Strategic Plan on the One Health approach to tackle health challenges. Residents of Akoko in Akoko North West Council area of Ondo State have alleged Benin Electricity Distribution Company BEDC of plunging the community into darkness following its disconnection from the national grid. Kano State's Governor Abba Yusuf has tendered resignation from the New Nigeria People's Party NNPP. And from the foreign scene, the death toll from the devastating fire at a shopping plaza in Pakistan's southern port city of Karachi has jumped to 67. And that's the news tonight. Thank you very much for watching. Good evening.